Hello,
Welcome.
hello, people. We are back once again.
Okay, so we're back. We're still in quarantine. The UK's extended theirs by another 3 weeks, so we're in here for at least another 3 weeks before we can even hope to meet up.
Yep,
We're trapped. Like the CBBC quiz
And
task
welcome
show.
back to another week with Calvin, Elliot, Reese, and Ren, as we are the Anime Amigos,
And Alfie.
And Alfie, of course.
Alfie is now for the Ripley cameos.
yeah. Ripley is currently downstairs. And she doesn't like being in my room for some reason.
No.
That is weird. She's the most. It's Kate. This is our future spin-off being prepared. Alfie versus Ripley. Dawn of Justice.
Dun, 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 dun.
So, how are you guys doing in with the new measures in place and everything going on?
Well, it's a lot harder to take Alfie out for walks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm struggling to avoid people when I'm trying to walk into my office work.
Yeah, it's a bit of trouble to taking Ripley for a walk. But I live in like a small town, so it's not that bad, really.
Yeah, there's so far I don't. It's kind of weird because they said on the news everyone's going to know someone affected by this, but I only know one person who got a case of it and someone who thinks they got a case of it.
I don't know anyone who's got it, but I know someone who's had a relative die from it.
Yeah, I've known a few co-workers and nurses I've spoken to have either had or have been treating people with it as well. So it's obviously very serious, but hey.
I mean, on the plus side, there are some data now suggesting that if things are starting to move along the right track. I mean, it's very hard to say that when there's hundreds of people dying on a day in our country alone on a daily basis, but we just have to keep going, and we're going to try and entertain you as much as possible and give you things to do whilst you're stuck inside. And please, anyone listening to this, for the love of God, if you are not staying inside as much as possible, please do it, because I want to get back to we all want to get back to normal as soon as possible, and we can't do that unless we all follow these guidelines. I never normally say just listen and do what you're told, but in this case, for the love of God, do that.
I mean, especially the old people, because they're still out in force.
Yeah, especially on the hot days in the regard.
That kind of surprised me very much, because mind you, I go shopping at there's a Waitrose near us, so that probably hasn't helped my level of encounter.
Yeah.
Like
this national period has been brought to you by the Anime Amigos.
I miss playing card games. I want to go.
Yeah, that's one of the worst things.
Someone I've been getting into Commander.
I know that's
it's trying to kill me.
Big time. One of the worst things is not being able to see friends and play a paper game of Magic the Gathering, and instead having to resort to using Magic Arena.
Although I will say, to the animators who are actually working right now and haven't postponed their productions, we understand why productions have been postponed, but to everyone who is still working, still producing, thank you very much. You are doing the Lord's work right now.
You are very, very least helping us to do our jobs.
Well, I mean, we don't know what we're going to be doing with our Anime of the Year going forwards. If we're going to keep it going as normal, it depends how things go at this stage. But we have guaranteed that I think virtually, if we're doing 2 vlogs a month, like we're potentially planning to do, I'm thinking every second vlog might be a binge watch vlog for Netflix show, since Netflix is the most consistent show. But how do you? So speaking of which, let's talk Beastars.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, Beastars was a big thing for us when we were hearing all sorts about it in the fall season, which was the one we recorded at Elliot's house.
Oh yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, we recorded that at your place, that one. I was really dead excited to get it. I mean, Elliot got me the manga for Christmas, but I didn't read all that much. Any of you guys read the manga before you went into it?
No, not me.
I hadn't read the manga of it.
I will say I read enough of the manga to get through most of the first episode. The anime is actually very stretched out from what I've heard from the manga series. It covered a lot of the manga.
Oh, right.
But yeah, there's still filler in the anime.
And yeah, there is some filler. Yeah, that's not surprising.
What's filler in the anime? Which bits? Or should we get to that
The
later?
head girl with her egg.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I can imagine that's that's filler.
I was imagining that was
One of the things I find interesting, but, I mean, I was excited to get it, and then Netflix announced they were bringing it in March, so we were a bit late to the mark. So we are going to spoil the shit out of this one, but before we get into spoiler territory with our thoughts, what's everyone's non-spoiler thoughts? We'll start with you, Reese.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, and it's better if you're a furry.
Yeah, much better.
Like Calvin.
I'm not a furry for the last time. This joke has to die.
Cal, look, it's okay. We accept.
Sadly, none of us have fursuits for this, but I got this little guy, which is good enough.
Oh, actually, I have a gorilla onesie. If that would help, Cal.
No.
No, because we know Cal only likes cats.
That's true. Yeah, cats and cats' feet.
I am going to murder you all.
I haven't been saying anything. I don't know why you're going to murder me.
The fact of the matter is, though, Elliot, what did you think of it?
If we had seen it in full, it would be my anime of the season. I really enjoyed it.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I thought it was really good.
Ren?
Yeah, I thought it was quality. I'm trying to think if it would have been my anime of the season. No, I don't know. I'd say it was very high quality. I did very much enjoy it, but I don't know about I don't know if it's at that height for me.
Well, I can't remember what you. Go ahead, Elliot.
Now that I think about it, I'm not really sure I would call it my anime of the season, but it would definitely be like number 2 at least.
I put it above Stars Align.
I think, yeah, but we're saying that with hindsight now that we know that Stars Align didn't finish its run.
Yeah.
We're kind of feeling that's. I think that's a bit of an oxymoron in a sense.
Yeah, but would you put it above Demon School though?
Yeah.
I must be honest though. That being said, I'm trying to think. I'm not sure how I would have picked if it had been airing at the time and I'd seen it at the time. But I think in hindsight, it is a better show than Stars Align in several regards. I mean, Beastars really has a very, 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 very clear focus.
Not to mention, it also ended on a cliffhanger, and we know we're getting the second season of it.
Yeah. I must say, I was amazed by how remarkably lax the police's attitudes were to a lot of the things that happened in that show. And we'll definitely get into that soon, but I think that was just surprising for me.
I must be honest with you though. There were parts of it where I went, okay, this is a bit weird even by my tastes.
Yeah, there were moments of suspending disbelief, but that comes hand in hand with anime sometimes.
Yeah,
there were moments like. There were moments like that. Were moments where I was just like, "Okay, yeah, yeah."
Which kind of I suppose does both takes you both in and out of the series. It shows you the really fantastical moments. Oh, Reese was seeing an absolutely beautiful backdrop.
I mean, the things that really do it for me.
Yeah,
and there's a lot that really does it for me. Is that it's very much this. I'm watching this show. I watched this show that's really trying to be this commentary on societal issues, on how we see ourselves and how we appropriate our views of ourselves and how others are. But I'm then at the same time going, well, this is going to be very hard to explain to people because. How am I supposed to say that with anthropomorphic animal? Well, but it's anthropomorphic animals. But what it makes it work is the fact that a lot of people are going to associate this with Zootopia.
Yeah, that was the inevitable comparison.
It's inevitable. It's only inevitable.
I mean, did you guys actually see Zootopia?
Yep.
Yeah.
I I haven't.
It's worth watching.
It's on my
I
list.
I actually saw it at a charity screening in my local cinema, and it was. I really liked that movie. I thought there's no way they're going to nail what that film did in this show, because I heard two things that have very similar themes.
I think it kind of has like a different take on this sort of society than Zootopia would.
Yeah, it's less it's more overt about it. Like the differences are more clear there.
Yeah, like the classes system.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Carnivores and herbivores. Yeah.
And I think by the nature of like the fact that it's being portrayed in anime, the differences are going to be like more in your face. Like the contrasts are going to be more clear in a show like Beastars. But I think with that, because obviously it's more of a mature show, it can show a lot more like details of the divisions that exist between carnivores
It's
and
not
herbivores.
as clever with its setting, though. That's the other thing. It's not quite as like Zootopia has a very interesting idea of small animals need to live in a really small environment.
Yeah.
The fish need to live in this sort of environment. It's quite Zootopia's world is really well thought out. I think a lot of people don't give it credit for that.
Yeah, and also fish don't seem to exist in the world of Beastars.
What do you think? What do you think? What did you guys? If you compare the two, which one do you think makes a better watch? Would you say?
Well, Beastars does have the longer runtime, so it can extrapolate on its ideas.
Yeah, that's the other thing. It's a bit of an unfair comparison because which I've made because again, it's like it's really hard because I like the fact Beastars goes to a few things that Zootopia can't go into because of the age rate rating, but then Zootopia also goes to a few places that Beastars doesn't. Particularly, it doesn't come flat. It doesn't look at the ideas of institutionalized racism and sexism that Zootopia did.
Yeah,
and I know a lot of people try to, and I always feel the people that are trying to claim that Zootopia doesn't have a themes of institutionalized sexism and racism are the people that don't want to believe in it, period.
Yeah. I think it would be very hard to argue that those things aren't like that Zootopia really doesn't touch on the idea of misconceptions because of certain groups. And
I love the fact we're talking about institutionalized sexism and racism. It's the conversation of that is being done by 4 white guys. That's really excellent. Who better to discuss this?
Four straight white guys. We are definitely up on BuzzFeed's A-list.
The thing that I thought some of the animal choices were quite interesting, like the promiscuous character make her a rabbit.
Yeah.
The guy who's supposed to be but what I found interesting is those choices are to put us in the mindset of a general person in this world. So Legoshi is someone who we like him, but we're also kind of worried about him. That's what the average person, the average animal in this world is going to be like. Haru, and again with Louis, we kind of admire him and want him to succeed, but at the same time we're also kind of a bit suspicious of him.
I'm scared of Louis. Yeah. Fucking Louis is a weird guy.
We really like him. We don't really find out about Louis' dark side until well later.
Yeah, I think Rui's kind of one of the more interesting characters. One of the more interesting characters, because I'm definitely one of the more realistic ones. Like someone who sort of puts pressure on himself to try and be the best, to try and be not just the best he can be, but the very best. And there are a lot of people who are like that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
he's kind of a product of the cycle of abuse, which I think is a really cool idea. I mean, this definitely feels very. Would you agree with me? I know this is probably a bad term, but would you say this feels very Netflix? If you catch my drift, does this feel like a very Netflix type series? Or could you imagine it being on Crunchyroll?
I could imagine it being on Crunchyroll, but I do definitely think it does fit Netflix. I wouldn't say it's like.
I
something
can
that
see
would
it more on
totally fit.
Funimation compared to Crunchyroll.
Yeah, it doesn't. But at the same time, it feels like it fits the Netflix's ethos of most of their original shows seem to be having this idea of very long, them being like very long movies that are meant to be watched in like 2 or 3 sessions, rather than a lot of anime which feels like it's meant to be watched on a week by week basis.
Yeah.
I mean, I think some anime does suit the idea of very long watches stuff, but then you got things like Gurren Lagann, which I wouldn't encourage anyone to watch in a long run. As good as that show is, it does feel like that show was made to be watched on a week by week by week basis.
Yeah.
Then there are things like Steins Gate, which I feel like at times are meant to be binge watched.
But I think that was on Netflix for a certain amount of time.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Steins Gate is still on Netflix.
Oh, really?
The thing about which brings us to another point, which is what was the really standout moments in Beastars? For me, there was a bunch of them, but I'm interested to hear your guys' opinion on that.
Yeah,
Does this mean we're now going into spoilers?
Yeah. I
Okay.
think we went past that point, but
all right. I think there are definitely some very standout moments, like some moments that kind of stick in your memory. Notably, I think the stage scene is probably one of the most vivid ones that I recall.
Yeah.
Yes, brilliant. What do you think? Which there's another point actually. The animation is something to talk about.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah, like it's not Land of Lustrous, but still looks really damn good.
Well, Land of the Lustrous is the interesting one to compare it to because it's made by the same studio as Land of the Lustrous. This is made
Studio Orange.
Studio Orange, that's it. These guys are really starting to stand out for me.
Yeah.
As far as their craft is concerned, I'm quite glad they've announced that the big post-credit scene was season 2's on the way.
Yeah.
It stands to reason you want. So it means these guys have something to be working on, because I can't imagine them doing another season of Land of Lustrous, considering just how much time, effort, and budget was in place to make that show. I mean, I think it took Studio Orange like 4 years to make that first season.
How long would it have taken? Do we know how long it took Kyoto to make Violet Evergarden?
It was like a 2-3 year period. It was shorter than Violet Evergarden was a short production period than Land of the Lustrous was.
I suppose Land of the Lustrous didn't probably have the same level of draw, but it wouldn't surprise me if maybe like a special or something came out.
I think an OVA did come out.
Oh right, okay.
Do you think the show would have? Do you think the show would have fit better in 2D, or do you think 3D was the right call for this show?
Do you know, I didn't think 3D was the right call until I started seeing some of those transition shots for like, not transition shots. You know those shots where it's like we could see we see just their head that looks almost see-through, whilst the conversation goes in the background and we're hearing the internal monologue. I think that those scenes like that really justified it being a 3D animation.
Plus,
I really liked how exaggerated the movements were.
Yeah,
in the show.
You can really give it that in 3D.
I thought it fit really well as well, because there are a lot of sort of different types of animation throughout the show. Like different types, like there's some like watercoloring and stuff like that in some points, but I think 3D was the right call for this show.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, it helps that the frame rate is consistent.
Yeah, definitely.
It's not like Ultraman.
Yeah, it's not a case of Ultraman or Fist of the Blue Sky.
Don't remind me, mate. Don't remind me.
Which also was a Netflix show.
Yeah.
Which is also getting a second season.
Really?
Oh, God.
Who asked for that?
I think it's because Ultraman is such a popular franchise in Japan.
Right, okay.
Like,
it goes since the 60s.
Yeah, I was about to say it's going that long. I mean, I kind of find it interesting that Ultraman's lasted that long, but other shows from that period haven't done so well, like 8-Man, for example. They never did one ever reboot of that, and that was one of the first big anime to come over to America. God, what is the... But here's some of the other factors. I mean, we're talking about the animation. There were a few scenes where I went, oh dear, they didn't have enough of a budget for that scene.
Yeah, like the scene when Legoshi was facing the was fighting the boss of that sort of crime organization, I
Yeah.
did notice that the animation did sort of dip at times, like it did look a bit laggy at times.
I do like the fact they named the character Legoshi though, because that's a nice reference there. Well, it's a reference to Bela Lugosi. I believe I might be wrong on this one, but I believe it's a reference to Bela Lugosi, who was one of the big actors in the old Universal horror films. Like he was the actor that played Dracula. I believe he played the Wolfman.
Oh,
and he was the original Igor.
Oh right. Oh, that would be quite a nice reference if that's the case.
Which is kind of funny because if I remember back then, Boris Karloff was the famous one.
Yeah, Boris Karloff. It was Karloff and Lugosi were the big horror actors of their day.
Yeah.
It's a. You know what's also interesting that though it's also the one time only one of us watched the sub.
I was the only one who watched it in sub.
Yeah, me and Ren watched it in dub, and Reese told me last night that he watched it in dub.
Well, I was made to by Cal, obviously. If I'm watching a show with Cal and the option for a dub is there, then I think it has to happen in dub.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was mentally scarred by the dub.
Because Cal pointed out. Go on, I'll let you have this.
Yeah, because it's the same voice actress who does Haru, does Kari from Digimon.
Yeah,
she plays a 9-year-old kid and has the exact same voice.
Yeah,
her voice hasn't changed.
No, it's disturbing.
Oh wow!
Like, Jesus Christ, please never have. Jesus Christ, that is disturbing.
It's like a multi-layered weird boner that Beastars is giving anime fans at the minute.
I just want to point out that Ren said that.
Yes, he did.
And we now have to tell him to get out.
Hey, I'm not the one who remembered the voice.
It's
distinct.
I was about to say, okay, it's not my fault that you recognise one of the most distinct voices in anime dub acting.
Okay, fair play. But then again, I don't watch dubs, so.
What do we think of the dub, by the way? How was that?
It was very good.
Yeah, very good.
I thought it was a very well cast dub, very well acted dub. I mean, I watch a lot of dubs, so I'm probably out of all of us, I'm the one who watched them the most.
The sub was pretty good. Was really good as well.
The thing that I think if there was, I don't think there was any actors that were very badly miscast on my part.
Yeah, it's the same with me. There's really any the cast was all very well. It was all very well cast on with the sub as well.
I think those performances were made well because these characters are all very well written. I like the whole carnivore group. I like Haru's character arc.
Yeah.
I must be honest. The only character I felt myself flip flopping a bit was what's her name? The wolf. Juno. That's it. She was the one I was kind of a bit flip flopping on my opinion of her. Because I kind of went going, I think the writers were trying several things with her, and they only made a few of them work.
Yeah, nothing really stuck with her.
She's kind of tropey.
Yeah, and I kind of went like, it kind of stands out in the fact that you got this show with not a lot of tropey characters.
Yeah.
And then you've got this very tropey character.
Yeah, it kind of makes us stand out and not entirely in a good way.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, it's possible she could do something interesting in the second season. I think what she's in there for is possibly to generate conflict and create difficulty for the main two, because it's obvious she's going to interfere with Legoshi and Haru. It's just yet to be revealed how.
I mean, Legoshi and Haru already have difficulty because he's a wolf, she's a rabbit.
Well, exactly, yeah.
What do you guys think about people calling Legoshi a possible paedophile?
What?
Oh, that bollocks! She even said
the height of Haru makes it look like she's a child to him.
Oh, fuck.
That's one of the things going on the internet.
I am so sick of that argument.
Yeah.
The whole point of it
that Haru is older than Legoshi.
Yeah.
And also, more to the point,
17.
it's a very deliberate choice because it's designed to point out how different these two are and how societal expectations say that two people who don't look matched for one another shouldn't be together.
Yeah.
It's a very deliberate choice. I must admit, I can see what they mean by it, but I think to suggest that is rather, I don't want to say wrong, I want to say duplicitous.
Yeah.
I think it's trying to read a bit too much into something.
Yeah.
I think what happened is, it's like reading an assignment and then saying, I'm going to read for extra credit even though you didn't have to, and then that warps your entire view of the entire assignment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you then try to rewrite it, but the teacher has already said, okay, no, sorry, you're done. I was going somewhere with that, and then it all went off the rails. But I was going to say, though, one of the other characters that I was kind of a bit half and half on was the panda that runs the black market.
Oh, yeah. Goheen.
Yeah, Goheen.
Yeah. He's a bit of... it's one of those who just went, hello, random new character.
Yeah, he was a late introduction, wasn't he? And was only relevant in the black market scenes.
Yeah, the black market, though, is an interesting environment because I love the idea of these homeless animals that sell their body parts to carnivores.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a really interesting way of doing a black market.
Yeah, again, it's one of the areas that it can differentiate itself from Zootopia because, like, although there's this suggested dark underside of the carnivorous society, in Beastars you can really kind of see it whole hog, if you will.
Yeah, Zootopia kind of doesn't really use the divide all that much.
At the same time,
in that regard, it's more divided in a different way.
At the same time, though, with something like Zootopia, we kind of got to do that without going too far as a kids' film.
Yes, exactly.
Oh yeah, completely. I mean, that's the big difference. Like, this is basically Zootopia for grown-ups.
Yeah,
pretty much. And I say that as someone who really likes Zootopia and thought it was one of Disney's most grown-up films in their recent memory. I mean, I certainly think it's a more grown-up film than the 2 Frozen movies, for example.
Yeah. At the same time, The Lion King is more grown-up than the 2 Frozen movies.
Yeah.
The animated one, not the new one.
Live-action one.
Of course I meant that. Who the hell would talk about The Lion King and talk about the remake?
Oh, seriously. So I've heard some people really defend that film for the most stupid reasons.
Well,
which is why we don't talk to those people.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, those people are idiots.
That's a very interesting point, though, actually, because one of the criticisms that was there about the Lion King remake was how unable to portray emotion the animals were, but also in this show, which is obviously 3D animation, but more similar to cartoon style, anime style, you can see just how expressive the characters really are, and I think that's a really interesting difference between the two.
I mean,
yeah,
go ahead, Elliot.
It's weird. They don't really have like too expressive looks on their face, but you can still sort of see the expression on them very well.
Yeah,
it's kind of what animation allows you to do. Like, Legacy is one of the most expressive characters in that show.
Well, yeah, because he's probably the most confused character of all of them.
I just kind of like what they did with Haru because they gave a very different sort of eyes. So I thought it was how are they going to do expressive. How are they going to do very expressive looks from her? But they did manage it quite well.
Mm.
Yeah, they did.
It's kind of I think a lot of the characters are not what you would expect them. Obviously, like Legacy being very caring and mostly non-violent, like as far as he can be until he's pushed.
Meanwhile, Louis can be very.
Yeah, Louis is completely the opposite.
Yeah, he can be the exact opposite.
Yeah.
Also, the missing poster at the end of Beastars. Did anyone spot the fact they had the mistyped? They misspelled his name in the translation, so it's an R instead of an L.
Oh, that's
The R is how it's spelled in Japanese.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, is it a name for the?
Yeah, like in the subtitles they spelled it Ruiz instead of Lewis.
Yeah.
I find that so bizarre because in the manga he's called Louis as well.
It'll be in the anglicized translations. It'll be.
I think maybe the anime was trying to stick closer to the Japanese writing than the manga was, maybe.
I mean, it is that. I mean, in translations from Japanese to English, the R's and the L's getting mixed up is a classic thing, which is why a lot of people call it. A lot of people called it English when they were trying to talk about banned translations from Japanese to English. I mean, because the classic ones were things like Italy, they put the R in place.
Yeah,
was a classic one that turned up quite a few times.
So is Legoshi then like Regoshi or like Regoshi? Legoshi.
But I find it interesting that they did this because a lot of dubs now don't change the names or anglicize names of characters anymore. They don't need to because they don't need to pretend that these shows are taking place in America anymore.
Yeah.
What is there anything we really thought was a bit off about the show?
There was some like a couple moments where I did feel like I was going a bit off the show. I guess
I did
it wasn't anything major. There was just like it's not like some other shows where like I'm completely happy to just binge watch the entire thing. This was one I felt like okay, I'm gonna need to take like a break from a few episodes before I continue watching it.
Yeah. I think the logic behind how the Lion Gang is able to exist and still kill people regularly, but somehow they also like the mayor decides to inform students makes no fucking sense.
Yeah.
One plot hole about the Lion Gang.
Yeah.
Only 2 lions have guns. All the others use hand-to-hand combat.
And they lose to a fucking 16-year-old wolf in a fist fight. And these are like full-grown adult lions. What the fuck? They're meant to be gangsters.
In all fairness, the panda helped out a lot.
Yeah, sure. Okay, yeah, no, I'll give them that. But even then, like Legoshi, I don't know, like through willpower alone, which is bullshit. I know it's anime, and willpower means a lot more than in real. Well, yeah, it's a case of I've got to save my friends. My friends are.
Also, if you really think about it, it's a wolf versus a lion. Does that mean this is the Japanese version of cats and dogs?
It could well be
the Japanese version of Deadliest Warrior.
It's a
that didn't already exist.
But here's point though that about Legoshi, he's a personification of the murder boner.
Yeah, he is, isn't he? Shit. That's fair play.
Okay, we're not going back from that.
That's new information.
Well, that'll that definitely won't ruin season 2.
No.
Yeah, that's another thing to talk about, the post-credit scene.
Yeah. I mean, I was already expecting it to be a season 2 anyway, especially considering the fact that we still have one question that was asked at the beginning that was never answered, which was, who killed Rem?
Yeah, that's an interesting murder mystery that they're going with.
I wonder if it's the hawk or the eagle character.
I mean, the obvious... what I like about the show is they're putting a lot of suspects up for the actual murder mystery that hasn't been answered yet. So,
yeah.
I mean, they put Legoshi as a potential suspect.
No, it can't be Legoshi because we saw Legoshi speaking to the person in the post-credit scene.
Yeah, I don't think
it's unlikely
to be Legoshi. But we don't know that's the person who killed Rem.
Well, presumably.
Also, I don't think it will be Legoshi because Legoshi states that he's never eaten someone before. He's held himself up, and it's only when he first met Haru that he actually attacked the first time.
See, I think
he could be lying.
Yeah,
or he could be, or he could have blacked out completely in the process. So I wouldn't rule Legoshi out completely.
My guess is for the eagle is because he's actually had like he's given himself a reason. He's given us a reason not to suspect him because he backed away from going to the black market and eating any meat. So I think. Well, I know it's not like a great theory, but I think he's given us like enough of like he's thrown us a red herring, really, or not a red herring, but
I think there's a bit of a chance it might be Bill as well, because like we know that he does sort of eat animal that he has eaten.
I feel like the weird thing is though, I feel like the murder mystery is kind of only really a factor for like a few moments in each of the episodes. It's not really a series on arc.
It's forgotten for the most part. Like there's no like this is another thing I think I mentioned briefly about before. Where the fuck is the police response to the fact that there was a student murdered on a school Yeah, so in a school, like, there's no red tape in any of these areas. Everyone just fucking carries on as normal, apart from the one person who
We do have a slight crime scene cordoned off, but
briefly, not for most of it. It's just forgotten about.
But again, the big post-credit scene is that supposedly Legacy's met up with someone who's now going to attack him.
Yeah,
but that could mean just about anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, another thing that was never resolved was that the leopard said that a bunch of carnivores were going to attack Rui, like during the Meteor Festival. That never went through.
Yeah, that was kind of.
I wonder how much of
well,
this is.
It's probably because Louis wasn't on campus at the time.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, because he pissed off to murder the crime boss.
I wonder how much of this is going to be touched back upon in the second season. I mean, clearly we're not done with the mayor character. Like he's still going to be prominent throughout.
Yeah, I mean when you make a mayor character who's more sketchy than the mayor in Zootopia, you know he's a really sketchy bastard.
Yeah,
it's definitely those fake teeth that throw you off.
Yeah, and his hair.
I could guarantee I'm going to be watching the second season just to get these questions answered.
Yeah, no, it's definitely got me excited for a second season.
Yeah, no, of all the things from last year that have confirmed they're going to be continuing their stories and are not just read the manga endings, I think this is one of the ones I'm most excited for seeing another season of. I really like the idea of continuing the story arc.
One thing I had to bring up, all the characters are anthropomorphic, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So why does Legoshi have a real beetle that isn't anthropomorphic?
Well, there's no insects or fish, as far as we can see.
That's a good point.
Exactly, but why?
Yeah.
Why is it only animals?
Maybe it's vertebrates.
Before we go down a rabbit hole that we will never get out of, I think we'll go with Ren's explanation and move on.
It might just be mermaid. Oh no, but we've had birds, haven't we?
Yeah.
Presumably non-aquatic vertebrates is my theory.
That means we might meet aquatic animals in the second season. I mean, I haven't put ahead with the anime yet.
Maybe, yeah.
I must be honest though, I wish they had done insects. I would have liked to have seen how they would have looked.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
I imagine they just look like the creatures from Hollow Knight.
Well, it just reminds me of BoJack Horseman. I swear, Netflix has gone hard on the anthropomorphic animal aesthetic with between BoJack Horseman and Beastars. I love it. I wonder if they take place in the same universe.
I wonder how many people at Netflix are furries then.
Yeah, very good point. Cal, your people.
Netflix, we're calling you.
I am not a fucking furry for the last fucking time. This joke must die.
It's never going to die.
Do you hear me, people? It must die.
The more enraged you get, the more power we gain.
Exactly. So, I'm trying to think.
So, the Simpsons references.
Never. So, what based off of watching this? If you've enjoyed watching Beastars, what else can you recommend?
On Netflix or just in general?
Just in general, but we'll try for Netflix first. So, what's similar on Netflix that you would enjoy?
Gundam Blooded Orphans.
Wait, is that on Netflix?
That for everything.
Is that on Netflix?
Hey, you asked.
Honestly, on Netflix, the thing I have to recommend, because I've been recommending it to everybody, even though we've already talked about it, is Castlevania.
Yes, absolutely.
It's my favorite show on Netflix. I absolutely love it.
I think you said BoJack Horseman. If you're going for a non-anime one, I think that is a very similar show that would go down very well with fans of this one.
Yeah. Not 13 Reasons Why.
Yeah, definitely not.
It's a trash fire.
If you want to talk about society, if we're going off Netflix and we're talking about things about societal expectations, how we see ourselves, and self-doubt, March Comes in Like a Lion's fantastic.
I knew you were going to mention that. I was going to mention it as well. I have not seen it, but I want to.
Is it still on Netflix?
It's not. I don't believe it's on Netflix. I'll just double check that now.
No, I don't think it is on Netflix. I haven't seen it on there, at least.
Quite a good show on Netflix. It's a live action one. A British one is Sex Education, actually, and it deals.
I watched that one. I really didn't like it.
I'm really enjoying it.
I saw the trailer of it. So it doesn't really look like my thing. It looks like sort of a lower version of the In-Betweeners, and
Reese is right. March Comes Like a Lion in the UK is on Netflix.
Oh wow!
Oh, it is.
Excellent.
Nice.
So Sex Education kind of deals with like taboo subjects, and is like.
Also, for the record, when this is over, can you tell your mum to give her back my copy of March Comes In Like a Lion?
Yeah, I'll remind her too. Don't worry.
I gave her the collector's edition to help me out with that presentation.
I don't think she's even watched it. I'm sorry. I don't think she's even watched it.
And she didn't fucking help me out with that. So give me back my fucking Blu-ray.
I'll get her to do that. But yeah, my recommendation would be Sex Education, probably for Netflix.
I really didn't like that show. I kind of wondering who Asa Butterfield's agent is and how quickly should they be fired.
Well, it's critically it's done quite well. Like it's been
a lot of things do critically well. Doesn't mean they deserve to exist.
I'd say
Suicide Squad got an Oscar.
You what? Sorry.
Exactly.
I mean,
Suicide Squad.
13 Reasons Why is somehow.
Yeah, but that's the Oscars. That doesn't fucking count.
I want to point out, I can't believe I'm living in a world where Suicide Squad has an Oscar and Avengers Endgame doesn't.
I mean, to be fair, that's
a crime against humanity.
Then again, Black Panther has one, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't. It got a lot of nominations, but it didn't win any of its nominations.
Marvel's due one at some point.
Because unlike Suicide Squad, that film's actually good.
I mean, we're looking like we're also living in a world where only 6 anime have been nominated for Best Animated Feature, and only one of them is not Studio Ghibli.
That may change in future.
I'm severely doubtful.
Can you imagine if the Your Name if the Your Name adaptation wins an Oscar?
Yeah.
What a kick in the teeth that would be.
There will be riots.
Yeah.
I think some of us will be happy. I don't think anyone else will.
If it turns out, honestly, a lot of people are really shit. I know we're going very off topic, but a lot of people are really shitting on that film's concept from the start. And I honestly want to give it a chance. I really think this one's potentially
it's
going
a really
to work
interesting
out.
one.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think the live action Your Name would actually be pretty good.
It's
not a story that's so Japanese that it needs to stay an anime.
It's adding other things into the mix, such as so it's a man living in New York. Oh no, not New York, is it? Where is it, Cal?
It's Seattle. I believe it's going to be Seattle, and it's a girl from a Navajo tribe.
That's it, yeah.
But she's living in rural America.
Yeah.
So you've got Navajo ascendancy, but which I mean, if you're gonna localize, if you're gonna do it to a very American setting and very American issues, that's already you're making an interesting change, which means you have a reason to watch this version. Like, I don't just want a straight Your Name adaptation. Like, if they made a Japanese live action adaptation of Your Name, I wouldn't watch it. What would be the bloody point?
Well, exactly. It's the same film otherwise.
It would just almost certainly be the exact same goddamn film.
Just fingers crossed it's not another Death Note. Fingers crossed.
Serious finger. Everything crossed it's not another Death Note. What about, or actually, fingers crossed, I'll say fingers crossed it's not another Attack on Titan. Fingers crossed it's not another
Avatar Lost Airbender.
Ghost in the Shell.
Alita Battle Angel.
Let's move on. I think our thoughts on Beastars are: we all really liked it.
Yeah.
We all really recommend it.
Yeah, there are issues with it, but
just don't watch it dubbed if you watched Digimon as a kid.
Yeah.
Oh God, yes.
Again, you think that's bad? When I was just when I was starting in college, I was around a friend's house, and one of my friends was on Facebook, and she went, "Wait, what, one of the voice actors from Yu-Gi-Oh did a hentai?" I just like, what?
Oh my god!
She played it, and legit the minute she played, I was just like, "That's fucking Joey Wheeler! What the hell?"
What?
Like,
don't forget, Dan Green did the same thing.
Really?
Voice.
Like,
We are living in a very strange world.
Yeah.
It wasn't just the same voice actor. He was using the same goddamn voice.
No way. Oh god.
Never, ever want to see that ever.
God.
That bloody scarred me, seriously.
Okay. So we all liked it. Before we go, we'll talk the Annie Trending Awards since they are still going to go ahead at this point, and they go throughout the year. So let's talk our thoughts on the nominations from winter. So I've got them up here. Let's talk anime. We'll start with Anime of the Year, and Reese is going to be quite happy with this one, but you guys probably won't be happy overall.
Okay.
Nominations for Anime of the Year at this point are Stone Scientific Railgun T, Haikyuu to the Top, Eve Invaded, Inspector, and Toilet Bound Hanako-kun.
I'm surprised that Isaac's not on there, but I'm happy that ID Invaded is on.
Yeah, Isaac is the real elephant in the room that's being missing there.
Yeah, I'm surprised that's not on there. That's really weird.
Which one are you surprised by?
Isaac Quinn not being on there.
Yeah. Are you, any surprise are on there?
I'm also a bit surprised that Inspector's on there, but Somali isn't.
Yeah, that one surprised me a lot as well. But Reese, you've got to be happy that Railgun's on there.
Oh, Railgun's been so good.
Hopefully that show will get finished.
Yeah.
If it gets finished.
If it gets finished, yeah, I'm not putting the bets on anything at this point. Man of the Year nominees so far. Remember, we're not talking about these right now. I mean, out of all of them at the minute, I would vote for either Haikyuu or Toilet Bound. Yeah. But I'm not sure how. But I'm as I say, how about you guys? What's the strong standout for you guys? Would you be voting at this point? Presumably, Elliot would be id.
Yeah, I'd be ID Invaded.
What about you, Ren? Out of those five, which one do you say you think you like the best?
Probably Azakan. I mean, sorry. No, I'll vote. Sorry. Sorry, I'm not.
You didn't watch these shows, did you? Actually,
no, not really. To be honest with you. I mean,
you really need to be that you actually watched to get nominated.
Yeah, I know. I'm a bit gutted. Castlevania's not on there.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for that one as well.
But I think Castlevania is unfortunately quite. It's in a bit of a negative situation, really, because it doesn't have an OP to speak of, and a lot of people will only watch it like. Well, yeah. Well, you have like 10 episodes.
At the same time, though, we're also in the minority of people who actually class it as an anime. A lot of people don't.
Yeah, but they're wrong, and it deserves more love. Like seriously, the animators and the cast is phenomenal, and I'll be gutted. I'll be gutted if that doesn't.
If someone like Ruby counts as an anime, then I definitely think Castlevania should.
Exactly.
I heard about the head writer of Ruby.
Oh really? What happened?
He spoke out against Tifa in the Final Fantasy VII remake.
Ooh.
Regarding he said that she's a prostitute.
Oh shit! Damn.
Yeah. Really?
Why? So why did he say this?
Why do you make it difficult for me to be a Ruby fan, Ruby writers? Why do you make it difficult for me every time?
So why did you do that?
Because of the way she looks and acts.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Really? Because if I remember, it's Jessie who's the thirsty one, not Tifa.
Yeah.
This just in. Writers, terrible people.
Yeah.
I mean,
we need to put
that's not exactly news.
Yeah.
We need to put a disclaimer on that one. Let's talk about Man of the Year. Nominees are Hanako from Toilet Bound Hanako-kun, Hinata Shoyo from Haikyuu to the Top, Sadako from Id Invaded, Koru from Inspector, and Kaname from Darwin's Game.
Do you mean Sakaido from...
Sakaido, that's it. The brilliant detective Sakaido.
Yep.
Yeah.
Again, none of these shows I really watch, but the only one was
Darwin's Game.
Yeah, apart from him, but like I'd hardly be in a position to say yes, he's the man of the year because he's like, it's Darwin's Game. No offense, it's all right, but it's not great.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're going to be waiting on more for that one.
Yes, I will be.
For the time being, I'm going to say Sakaido.
You're going to say Sakaido?
I go Sakaido.
I'm going to go for Hinata or Hanako at this point.
Yeah, I was thinking you go Hanako.
Girl of the Year nominees are Kotoko from Inspector, Kanamori from Isaacon, Maple from Belfry, Misaka Mikoto from Sun Scientific Railgun T, and Yasuro from Toilet Bound Hanako-kun. That's a very
only one from Isaacon?
Yeah, that's surprising. She can come back on the later polls, but hopefully she will come back.
I'm surprised.
I'm gonna go with Thingamajig from Inspector.
You're going Inspector.
I'm gonna go Makoto from Railgun.
Hanamori from Isaacon for me, but I feel like all three of them should be on.
They should be.
I go with at this point, but at this point, that's a very good selection. I think that's a good selection.
Yeah, strong list.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Only 3 for Ship of the Year so far. We got Hanako and Yashiro from Toilet Bound Hanako-kun, Koro and Kotoko from Inspector, and Shinya Aname from Science Fell in Love, So I Tried to Prove It.
I'm gonna go Inspector.
I'm gonna go Science Types.
I'm not going to say at this point. I don't know how I'm going to vote in that one. Those are all good choices. Those 3 are excellent.
Yeah.
At the minute, this is turning out great. I have nothing to.
I will say, considering what's to come out this season, is definitely going to be overtaken.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
We all know what this as well.
Well, there are a few good ships this season actually.
Yeah.
It looks like.
Easily though, the best is Kaguya-sama.
Of course.
Yeah.
Because they're one of the best. Like, I love them. I love them.
I've got supporting man of the year here. I got Fukada from It Invaded, Yu Nishinoya from Haikyuu to the Top, and Fukushima K from Haikyuu to the Top. Seriously, both 2 nominations from Haikyuu.
Wow, that's
great.
I know Haikyuu have a lot of characters and have to nominate a lot, but even so, it's not the ones I was expecting to get nominated out of all the cast in Haikyuu.
I'd have to go with ID Invaded again. I have not seen Haikyuu.
All of you guys are going to Invaded because I'm the only one who watches Haikyuu out of the 4 of us.
Yeah.
Again, I would have, but too many episodes.
Supporting Girl of the Year, Ao Akane from Toilet Bound Hanako-kun, Mitsuko Kongal from CERN Scientific Railgun T.
Oh, she's been great.
Saki Yumihara from Inspector. I must be honest, I actually forgot Aoi existed in Hanako-kun until I saw it get nominated. It's like, was she? Yeah. Oh yeah, she was that. All right, I get it now.
She was that in sequential. The series wrote her out for a bit.
Huh?
It was kind of weird, that one. Presumably you're going Railgun.
Yeah.
Presumably you're Inspector.
Yeah, I'm Saki.
And I don't have one to vote for, so I'm gonna protest the fact that what is it? The lolly friend from Science Types isn't on there.
Oh yeah.
Because she's a pretty cool character.
Best in adaptation. Okay, Aspect Awards time. Best in adaptation. It's only 2 at this point. I think most of these are only 2 nominations that they're going to build as we go.
Yeah.
Inspector and Keep Your Hands Off Aizoken, which are both based on manga.
I would not know. I haven't read either of the manga.
Yeah. I haven't read the mangas of either of these, so I don't know how good they were as adaptations, so I have to judge them as their own, and in that sense, it would be Aizoken for me.
Yeah, probably Isaacon.
Presumably for you, Red, it's Isaacon.
Yep.
Best animation effects and sequences. This might be a whole one for Reese. Railgun versus Isaacon at this point.
Oh, Railgun's been so good.
So animation, the animation effects in that one, I think Isaacon's pushing it a bit more than from the limited clips of Railgun that I've seen.
Yeah. Aizoken's been more distinct.
Yeah,
definitely.
It has sort of its own more unique art style.
Best in character design, it's Smile Down the Runway and Toilet Bound Hanako-kun. I think that's going to get better as the year goes on, but at the minute I would vote for Hanako-kun.
I'd vote for Hanako-kun.
Although, to be fair, I was the only one out of the 4 of us that actually really saw much worth in Smile Down the Runway. I was really the only one.
No, I watched it.
Oh yeah, you watched it. You didn't like it as. Did you not like it as much as me though, or did you
No.
really like it?
I didn't really rate it.
Sceneries and visuals nominees are. Oh wait, best ensemble cast. It's Isaacson and Science Types. How do you guys? I kind of like. I kind of think I prefer the cast in Isaacson in the sense that there's a better ensemble. I think Science Types is only, there's not as many characters.
Yeah, I probably
Yeah,
go
but in
with
Science Types, the ensemble cast is more distinct compared to Isoken, which is mainly just the 3 girls.
Yeah.
Well, we're in both of these, so you probably have more of an opinion on these two.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with Reese's point. To be honest with you, with Isaacson, it is primarily the 3 of them. Oh no, actually, no. Saying that, the student council president's quite unique, as are like the people from the Mech Club and the soundboard dude. I don't know.
Yeah, there's an interesting cast there. I got best in series and visuals. I got it's Isaacson versus Somali and the Forest Spirit at this point. Those are the 2 that are in there. I mean, I like both of those shows, but Somali's background, both of these shows have excellent backgrounds.
Yeah.
But I think Somali's is really just almost all the environments in that show look amazing.
Yeah, it's clearly going to have to be Somali for me. Somali just has amazing backgrounds.
What about you, Ready Boy?
I mean, again, the one I've seen the most of is Isaacson, so I'll just go with that.
I mean, I must be honest, I think that might change throughout the year. Best in soundtrack, we've got Id Invaded and Boffery at this point. I mean, Id had a way better soundtrack than Boffery.
Yeah, Id Invaded had an amazing soundtrack. Mostly, with Boffery, the only one I really remember from that is that insert song, and that's because they use it like every episode.
Original animated nominee, only Id Invaded at this point. That's going to obviously change throughout the year if we keep going.
Yeah.
Opening theme song of the year, we got so this is best OP. Chain from Darwin's Game, Easy Breezy from Keep Your Hands Off Isoken, Initial from Bang Dreams Season 3, and number 7 from Toilet Bound Hana Cocoon.
Of course, Isaac's in there.
Easy Breezy.
So you're Isaacson, right?
Isaacson for me.
I have to go. Honestly, I'm going with Darwin's Game.
I'm going for talking about Hana Cocoon out of this lot. I really like that OP a ton. And EDs, the nominees are. This was a bit of an interesting mix. So we got Somali and the Forest Spirit, Id Invaded, Toilet Bound Hana Cocoon, and Bang Dream Season 3.
Surprised Isaac's not in that one, honestly.
I'm actually kind of surprised. But I mean, out of those ones, I think I personally liked. I have to go over the one, but I think I'll go Somali and the Forest Spirit.
Yeah, I'm going Somali.
I'm going to go with ID Invaded.
Action Adventure Animated Year, it's Scientific Railgun, Boffery, and Darwin's Game.
Railgun.
I haven't seen Railgun, so I'm probably going to have to go with Boffery.
Boffery for me out of that lot.
I'm not
comedy
voting
or
for
action
Darwin's
animated.
Game.
Comedy or action anime of the year, it's Boffery, Haikyuu to the top, Isekai Quartet Season 2 and Toilet Bound Hana Cocoon.
No Science Types?
No, surprisingly, that didn't get nominated.
Weird.
That's surprising.
That one doesn't get a second chance, so that's genuinely surprising, that one.
Yeah.
I think at the minute, Hana Cocoon for me, or Isekai Quartet, but I think I think when inevitably My Next Life as a Villainess gets nominated for that category, I'm probably going to pick that one.
Fair play.
Yeah, same, but for the time being, I'm going to go with Isekai Quartet.
Yeah,
For the time being, I'm going to go for Boffery.
Oh, yeah, that had a few funny moments. Yeah. Drama Anime of the Year, Haikyuu to the top, Id Invaded and Smile Down the Runway.
ID Invaded.
Haikyuu. Fantasy or Magical Anime of the Year, both three, Isekai Quartet and Somali and the Forest Spirit. Now, all of us watched a bit of each of these shows.
Somali, it's got to be Somali for me.
Somali for me.
What was the category?
Fantasy or Magical Anime.
And Isekai Quartet's on there?
Yeah.
Characters use magic.
Yeah. True.
Somali for me. Mecha or sci-fi anime, it's Sentai Diva Railgun, Boffery, and Id Invaded.
ID Invaded. So I have a feeling, I'm hoping Listeners will be on there at some point.
Yeah, that one looks quite good. That one's doing quite well so far.
Why is actually, why does listeners have like such a low score? I think it's really good.
Yeah, no, seriously, I'm getting pissed off with the low score for that one.
It's all right.
Other shows I think are pretty good. Like quite a few of them don't have that great scores, and I just think why?
Music Anime of the Year, neither of us saw any of these. No one was watching 22/7 and no one was watching Bang Dream Season 3. Maybe that'll change as the year goes on. We'll get a music anime that we really liked, but we might be abstaining from that one. Mystery or psychological anime, it's Darwin's Game, It Invaded, and Inspector.
ID Invaded.
Yeah, ID Invaded.
What about you? Did you watch any of these, Ren?
Well, Darwin's Game, but no.
I'd probably vote Inspector out of this lot. Incidentally, I've just noticed the Inspector's not got that many nominations out in these categories, but it is nominated for Romance of the Year along with Science, Fell in Love, So I Tried to Prove It. But I mean, out of those two, I'm going to vote for Science.
Well, I do prefer Inspector. Science, Fell in Love, So I Tried to Prove It.
Yeah.
Science types.
Slice of Life anime. The nominees are, and these are a lot of these are very strange nominations actually. Asteroid in Love, Bofuri, Smile Down the Runway, and Somali and the Forest Spirits.
Slice of Life.
Somali? It's Slice of Life?
Yeah, I was about to say I know it's about the day-to-day living, but there's a lot of fantastical elements introduced into that.
Also, where is Isaac in this?
Yeah, I would have thought Isaac could make way more sense.
Yeah, and
really, I mean, I like Smile, but it's very mismatched for this category. So in that sense, I'm going to have to vote for Smile Down the Runway.
And seriously, Bofuri? Where's
Yeah,
Bofuri in there?
That's really surprising. Only one other category left. Supernatural Anime of the Year. The nominees are It Invaded, Inspector, and Toilet Bound Hanako-kun.
Toilet Bound.
ID Invaded.
I kind of object to It Invaded being nominated in this category.
Yeah.
Because it's technology, not supernatural. Yeah. They prove they distinctly say at the beginning of all the shows, it's a technological element, not a fantastical one.
Yeah, in that case, Inspector then. Actually, I think that's more supernatural than...
I'm going to go for Toilet Bound Hanako-kun. What about you, Reese, out of this lot?
Yeah, Toilet Bound.
Okay, so I think the nominations so far this year have been all right, actually. I think that's some decent lists. I think, provided we keep going with it, I think it's going to get better as the year goes on.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
So we're back in the middle, probably either at the beginning or the middle of May, with our anime fights.
Where I get to win again. 3 years in a row.
Bullshit, not going to happen.
We are changing the rules this time, so we're not constantly interrupting one another over the Skype chats or hangouts.
40 years of Gundam.
Shut up.
So therefore, we're going to change the rules this time. So this time we get 2 minutes at each time to give our arguments, and then 2 minutes to respond to the other arguments, and then the judge will pick the winner.
Okay.
So
we need to think of questions. I think I gave you.
You gave me a suggestion, and it is one of the 7 that I've done. So I'm sending that to these guys tonight to send me back their answers.
So who will be asking the first question next?
Well, that's up to Reese. Reese, who's judging in the first research edition? You won last year, so you're picking new judges the first round.
Okay, let's go with Ren.
I'm the first judge.
You're the first judge.
Okay.
So you will judge the first. So you don't need to have an answer for the first one.
That's fine.
So I'll make sure the first question is one that you are useless at coming up with an answer.
Shut up! No, you're not allowed to do that.
No, I did it with Elliot because I did pick. He got to judge the Gundam question.
Okay.
Yeah, in that case, I think Ren should pick which of the questions he does first.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll send these guys tonight. So thank you very much for joining us this time in your quarantine.
It was lovely seeing you all.
We'll be back next month with anime fights and possibly another Netflix anime review.
Do you have any idea which one that will be?
I have one up my sleeve, which I think you guys will like, called Lost Song.
Oh, isn't that one that came out last year?
It came out last year, and we didn't really talk about it. It was actually 2 years ago, but it came to Netflix last year, and not many people talked about it. And I want to kind of boost it basically boosts its profile. I think a lot more people should watch it. I think it's really good, but I think I wouldn't mind you guys watching it because I think this one might be one where you guys don't like it as much as me.
We'll see.
But thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you all next
time.
Thank you, guys.
See you all. Bye.
Bye. So, how do you guys